the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, Dolores.
Thank you.
Tammy is out ill, so Dolores is sitting in. And thank you for sitting in, and I'll have you do the roll call.
Alrighty, Mayor Pete Pedersen,
Here.
Councilmember Corey Pedersen,
Here.
Councilmember Dave Dillon,
Here.
Councilmember Lindsay Larson, absent, Councilmember Norris Johnson.
Here. Okay, I'll entertain a motion for approval of the agenda. And I think one change should be that we will not go into closed session tonight for the city manager's evaluation because of her being ill. And so we'll schedule that some other time.
So moved with the amendment.
Second?
Any other changes? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Approval minutes of the 4:15 and the 4:11, the 5:11 minutes. I'll entertain a motion.
Move for approval. Second.
Is there any discussion or anything? I do have one, but does anybody else have any discussion on any of that? On page 2, the very top one, the back, that resolution on the transfer of that money from 216 to 217, is it in the resolution, and maybe you know, Dolores, that this is a $5,000 per year to be allocated to events?
I don't know if it specifically says the 5,000.
I remember that it did.
Is it in the resolution? Because
I remember seeing
maybe
that,
we
yeah.
should amend the minutes to state that so we don't have a problem, because that is to be used 5,000 by the events per year for 9 years, was what we discussed. And that's what was on the transfer, but should have that been part of the motion, and that it should be in rec fest? What do you think?
Of course, well, the details would be in the resolution, you know.
You sure it's in the resolution?
I remember seeing
Okay.
that, yeah.
So my comment is, if it's in the resolution, I don't think we have to amend the minutes,
Yeah,
but,
yeah, because it's not inaccurate the way it is.
no, it's not inaccurate, but
Yeah, it's just not.
just as long as it's
complete.
clear.
Okay, I'll verify that make sure that it's in that resolution.
And if it's in that resolution,
We're okay.
then we don't have to amend it.
Okay.
So do we want to have a motion to amend it if it's not in the resolution? Is that reasonable? If Dolores does not find it in the resolution,
We just deal with it at the next council meeting at that point, or?
we could do that too. Or just give her the right to amend this meeting. What do you want to do?
Doesn't matter, whatever's easiest. Just have her amend it then. If
Huh?
it needs to be amended, just have her amend it.
Have her amend it. So you're making a motion, if it's not in the resolution, amend it.
Yep.
Amend it, so,
Yeah,
okay?
I'll
Okay.
second that.
Okay, any discussion on that amendment? All in favor of the amendment, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Any other corrections on the minutes of the 15th or the 11th? Oh, I'm sorry. We had to go back to, not aye, because we're on thing, we gotta do roll call. So from now on, everything will be roll call. All in favor of approval of the minutes, Norris, how do you vote?
Aye?
Dave?
Aye.
Corey?
Aye.
Pete, yes. Motion carries. Approval of the bills? I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the bills.
I'll second it.
Any discussion on any of them? Pete votes yes. Dave?
Aye.
Corey?
Aye.
Norris?
Aye.
Motion carries. There are no public hearings. Open forum. Is there anybody here that is not on the agenda? Okay, hearing none. Is Carter Brooks here?
No.
Okay. There's a certificate of appreciation for his work as an Eagle Scout. And so that will get to him some other time, or just make a notation. It was presented, but he wasn't present, and Tammy can take care of it from there. Update on the state. The only update that I have that I could think of, and Tammy didn't send anything on with you, did she, Dolores?
I don't think there's anything in here.
The only thing is the new relief money and CARES money now on a webinar will probably be coming out from the state in July and August. The state's gonna hold on to it for a while, probably to get a little interest off our money, but anyway, they're holding on it, and it looks like it won't come out till July and August. Any county updates on the road is going along pretty good. It looks like all they gotta do now is put the final coat on it and then go from there. And other than that, I haven't heard any news from the,
Well, they don't have a administrator.
yeah. Because I guess now Holly resigned, is my understanding. Right?
Yes, yep. I believe they have a meeting tomorrow morning to address it, an
Okay.
emergency.
So right
County
now, there's no
Commissioners meeting.
administrator over there, or acting administrator or nothing. Is that right, Damien?
I heard Lisa Burgess is coming back to be the acting one.
Huh?
Lisa Burgess is coming back to be the acting one.
Okay. Whoever.
She was here before.
she worked
She was here before.
Yeah, but isn't she the new person at Princeton?
No,
No.
she's been down in,
That's Michelle.
Carver County or something?
yeah.
Shelby
Yep.
Pearson is the new city administrator.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Okay, so that's the only county news we have. Ordinance and resolutions. Resolution 2125, donation to the Veterans Memorial. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second?
The only discussion on that is they started putting in stuff, and they're within 49, you got it right in front of you, $49,000. So they need a few more donations coming in, and a few more bricks, but I think it was $49,000 after this was in your packet. So they still have 49,000 to raise. So if you know of anybody that can make a donation to the Vets Memorial, it'll be appreciated. Any other comments? Dave, how do you vote?
Aye.
Corey?
Aye.
Norris?
Aye.
Pete, yes. Resolution 2126, donations for the kids' events planters. I'll entertain a motion.
Move for approval?
Second?
Any comment on it? It was one, thanks to the crew, it really went over bigger than I expected. And there's even been some people asking if they can purchase what ones were left over, and Gary was gonna talk to, probably you, Mary, and, also to, Mark. So, but there are some people that went, but I think they, Mary, do you know exactly how many they ended up with?
I believe they, made 240 of them.
Yeah, that's what I had heard, that there was 240 of them made, so, job well done.
Yeah, I was gonna mention it in council comments, but
Oh, I'm
since you brought
sorry.
up, no, since you brought up now, I just wanted to add it too. I think all of staff did an outstanding job.
Fabulous.
Guys like Jesse and the law enforcement and everybody
Yeah.
brought their stuff down, and local businesses. It was a great event. They did a really nice job.
I only got as far as the registration table, because I couldn't get down there, but I heard no detrimental things on that. Any other comments on that? Corey, how do you vote?
Aye.
Norris?
Aye.
Pete, yes? Dave?
Aye.
Motion carries. Ordinance 483, amending the title of first reading. This is, we also have this as part of the planning commission, but this is first reading tonight, so is there anything, and only doing first reading, so by title, or is there any changes in it? Does anybody have anything they'd like to change before? Because this is only the first reading tonight, if we don't suspend with it, but I do have a couple questions if nobody else has. Marshall,
Yes.
under 5659, where it says, fencing does not have to be removed until property becomes less than 10 acres in size.
Yes.
And, how's that work with property that is already less than 10 acres and the fencing, and that's addressed in another, on the next page? That's the only thing I was worried about. It's just something that we could look into before the final reading, okay? And then on, and the pages aren't numbered, and then on the next under, 156.17,
117?
117, existing, that also is there, that same thing. What happens if it goes under, because it says existing farm operations that are under 10 acres in size will be permitted to continue operations subject to the following conditions. Okay, but what if they go from 8 down to 4?
There's still a farm. They're existing.
Okay,
It's an
I'm just
existing farm.
wondering,
Yeah,
do you,
no, that's existing.
if they change from the present, so at what point, say if somebody sold off a bunch of 1 acre lots, say for instance Norris, broke up his and sold it in 1 acre lots, is it still considered a farm?
Well, whatever he has a horse on would.
But those 1 acre lots now are sold
Yeah,
separate,
the
so
ones,
they're not,
those ones,
those
1
wouldn't
acre
be.
lots wouldn't, because
Those
now you
wouldn't.
created a new lot.
the only one would be Norris's if he stayed there.
The new one, if he breaks something off, what is broken off would not be considered,
Unless
Right.
it's more than 10 acres.
Right.
unless it's more than 10 acres, okay. And then the other thing is, down under A, it says, if the property currently has farm animals, it could continue to have farm animals underneath the non-conforming use of this ordinance.
Correct.
Okay, so how are we keeping track of who has farm animals on these
We have one, that's all we have to worry about, so we can keep track pretty easily.
Okay, I'm just wondering.
Yep, we have one that's existing that's under 10 acres that has farm animals.
Okay. So if somebody goes out and gets a bunch of farm animals before this passes,
They couldn't, because
Yeah.
we didn't allow this before, until
Okay.
we write this
Okay.
ordinance, so.
so,
Could that, what, the comment you made there, Pete, about the fencing, yeah, somehow that needs to be,
tweak.
yeah, because it almost, I don't know,
There's two. So I think that's something that we should look at tweaking before we hit the second reading next month.
Well, basically, all we have to say is fencing under existing farming operations, once it goes under, you know, you have to remove the fence if it's under 10 acres. Because, well, either that or under existing farming operations, we can say it is allowed there until the farming operations cease.
Okay, but now, Norris, how many acres do you have?
about 30.
Oh, you got 30. Okay, if somebody goes underneath the 10, do they have to take out the fence
Yes,
on the 4?
yes.
If they're under 10 right now and they split it, do they have to take it all out or just what they split it off?
Well, what they split up, because
Okay.
what was left there is still a farming operation if they continue to farm it.
Okay,
If they continue to have animals. So if they split it off and reduce from 8 acres down to 4 acres, the 4 acres where he still has animals is still allowed to have a
okay.
fence.
So are you comfortable with the way the total thing is? And do you think we can suspend the first reading and pass it tonight? Is the council comfortable with that? And are you comfortable? And Nora? Because that's the only questions I had. And I still am under 156.063. On the total, is that a grand total or of those animals?
Per acre.
It's per acre,
Okay.
so, yeah, you couldn't have 1 horse and 4 pigs if you only had 1 acre, you know,
You could.
you could not. You can have one or the other. Just say if you only had 1 acre, if you only count 1 acre as a farming, you can have 1 horse, or you could have, 0.4 pigs, it says here, so 5 pigs per 2 acres, so. You can have one or the other, you couldn't have both on
Okay,
1 acre.
but that's not stated anyplace there.
Number of animals allowed.
Yeah,
So
it's
right there.
It's,
Yeah.
that's all you can have.
In unit per
You
acre.
can't mix and, well, you can mix and match, but you can't have more than what's allowed per acre.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
Okay. So, is the council, willing to forego the first reading and pass it?
Yeah, I would be. I think it's.
Clear with you?
I'm fine with it, yeah.
Okay.
Damon, you okay?
I'll keep my mouth shut.
No, I'm just asking.
No, you can. I would just caution in the future, our ordinances typically do require first reading, second reading, so it shouldn't be the norm, I guess, is what I'm
Okay.
saying.
Yeah.
So,
Then I won't ask for a first reading. And we'll just pass the first reading tonight and bring it back next month. And I appreciate that,
Yeah, that's,
cause we've been doing away with a lot of first readings.
But with the emergency ordinance, it's a necessity,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Okay, so, any more discussion on just the first reading tonight? And we'll have the second reading next month. Norris, how do you vote?
aye?
Pete, yes. Dave,
Aye.
Corey,
Aye.
motion carries. Resolution, no. Resolution, so we don't have to do D because we didn't pass the resolution, so it does not have to be summarized.
Correct, because you're not enacting the ordinance.
Yes,
That's why I can't find it.
yes. So, huh?
That's why I can't find it in the packet.
I thought it was in there.
No, the resolution's in
I
there.
didn't find it.
The summary ends,
Yeah, the summary is someplace.
but I think we put a note that it wasn't, if ordinance wasn't passed, then we
Okay.
wouldn't have to do the summary.
So that's off the agenda. Ordinance 484, continuation of the local emergency. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved. A motion to continue?
Yeah, but then we vote it down.
Yep, second.
This is just
Yep,
for
I just want to make sure
discussion.
we're on the same page.
Yeah, this is just for discussion. Okay, this is discussion on that. The only thing that I would say on the ordinance, Dolores, 484 is in there under the fourth whereas, and it shouldn't be in there. Because this is 484.
Oh, yep,
See what I'm looking at? So if that can be taken out of there, so amend that, I've taken, so I'll entertain a motion to take 484 off this.
So move.
Second.
Any question on the amendment? Okay, Norris, how do you vote?
Nay?
Wait.
No,
Oh,
no,
that's right, we're on this
We're
one.
on the
we're just getting rid of that,
Just getting
we're
rid
on
of
the
that. Yeah,
amendment.
Okay, I'm a step ahead. Anxious to vote against it.
Well, not to question your vote, but
I'll vote
I
aye
could have
on the
skipped
amendment.
that. Pete votes yes.
Aye.
Dave,
Aye.
Corey?
Aye.
Okay, remove 484 from that amendment. Any further discussion on the continuation of this? I do have a little bit of discussion on this, because the ordinance is in effect for 30 days or until termination of the local emergency, whatever occurs first, okay? So if we vote this down, we also have the one that we passed on the 511 that is in effect, and we have to repel that one also. Because that is in effect, so if,
Or will getting rid of this take care of both?
Yeah, by denying this motion, because my recollection was you passed it and it was gonna be kept alive until this meeting, and then it was going to re-up or reject.
but that isn't what that ordinance said, because it had the same words that the ordinance shall be effective for 30 days. It was a
Or you can,
repel it,
well, what you can do if you want, if the intention is to put an end to it,
yeah,
okay. Reject this motion and then pass a motion declaring the end of the local emergency.
what?
If you pass, or if you reject this ordinance,
Yeah,
it's dead.
yeah,
If you have a concern about that prior one remaining for 30 days, then pass a motion declaring the end to the local emergency, which de facto terminates that.
that's what I wanted to do. That's exactly what I wanted to do, okay? So, but by passing this one,
Well, you're not gonna pass that.
By not-
no, by not passing this one, what does it do to the authority of wearing masks and different things,
Well, that,
and you guys sitting 6 feet apart?
well, the city, I think I sent a link to Tammy earlier this week from the League of Minnesota Cities. The cities still have the individual authority to impose mask mandates and distancing and things like that within its municipality, primarily for, public facilities. Businesses individually can still require it if they want to do that. So if that's something that the council decides it wants to do, it certainly can. The recommendation is to pass an ordinance specific to that.
Okay,
And so,
okay, so we draw up a different ordinance.
if that's what the council chooses to want.
Very good. Any further discussion? Pete will vote no. Dave?
No.
Corey?
No.
Norris?
No?
That's the right one. Okay, now I'll entertain a motion to end the emergency,
The local emergency.
the local
Yeah,
emergency.
a motion terminating the declaration of the local emergency.
Yes,
I'll move with what Damien said.
I'll second it.
okay. Dolores, you got that? Huh?
Yep,
Cause I make Tammy read them back, so am I gonna have to,
no,
you don't wanna read them back?
we're good.
Okay. If you promise me that it comes out right, so we don't have to amend it, we'll be
got it.
okay. Any further discussion? Dave, how do you vote?
Aye.
Corey?
Aye.
Norris?
Aye.
Pete? Aye. Okay, then we will, that is done, so we don't have to do a summary, so F is done. Resolution 2129 approving the preliminary and final plot for Boulder Ridge Third Edition. Marshall, you wanna speak on that? Oh, no, I'll entertain a motion before.
Move for approval?
Second.
Okay, that came from the planning commission.
So on the May 17th, Planning Commission held a public hearing on Boulder Ridge Third Edition. There's some comments, questions about number of lots, stuff like that. But the Planning Commission recommended approving the preliminary and final plat. And there is also a letter in there from the city engineer saying that he's in favor of doing a preliminary and final also on it. These lots were platted before, but they changed the size of them and stuff, but the water and sewer and the roads and all that are already existing, so.
And the association was at that meeting and went along with the plan. So any other discussion? Nora, how do you vote?
Aye.
Pete, yes. Dave?
Aye.
Corey?
Aye.
Motion carries. Ordinance, no, resolution,
Ordinance.
no, ordinance
485.
number 485, first reading. Now, is this one we can suspend with, because it's pretty,
It's administrative in nature.
yeah, it's administrative. So I'll entertain a motion to suspend with the first reading.
So moved.
Second? Go ahead, Norris.
Second?
And all this is updating the code book. Any discussion on eliminating the first reading? Pete votes yes. Dave?
Yes.
Corey?
Aye.
Norris?
Aye.
Motion carries. I'll entertain a motion to adopt ordinance number 485, 2020 code updates.
So move?
Second.
Okay, any discussion on that? We do that yearly or, right?
Yeah, every year,
Dave, how do you vote?
Aye.
Corey?
Aye.
Norris?
Aye.
Pete, yes. Report, city manager, she's not here. Animal control contract. Quinn? Huh? So that they can hear you on,
To hear that Florida voice.
Sure.
Did you guys have a chance to review the
yes.
contract? Is there any questions? I mean, it's,
How come?
the only things that we were provided, some language that I think they had in contract with the city of Bram because our needs were gonna be fairly similar. I think really the only thing that we added was that, that they were going to name the city as an additional insured in their liability insurance.
Okay.
Again, I mean, this just go over as I explained in the, I think it was last month's city council meeting. So actually just kind of the way things work is leading up to this meeting, it seemed like if we do decide to go with animal contracting, animal control contracting with the Russells, that we needed to have one last hurrah, and we had a dog in our impound from a bite. The dog left our impound as a potentially dangerous animal, not only from the bite, but from the way that it interacted with officers when they were in the animal impound. The dog was, I guess I would say, a demeanor that we weren't comfortable handling the dog, and the owner actually had to come to our facility every day, multiple times a day, to take the dog out so the dog could be cared for properly while we had it. And again, it just speaks to the that our facilities aren't really meant for those purposes. And in here, like under contract price, so that's what they would charge us if an animal wasn't claimed by the owner. Obviously, if the owner claims, and the owner pays all fees. Or if the owner doesn't claim, generally they're able to adopt the dog out, and whoever adopts the dog would pay those fees as their adoption fee. So it's going to be very rare that we actually, it should be fairly rare that we actually pay fees in regards to animal control contracting with the Russells. But that being said, even if we do once or twice a year have to pay for those fees, just the liability that we're saving with our own officers, if you factor in the time that the officers are spending up there, and sometimes during a very busy schedule, trying to care for the dogs, even cleaning up after the dogs are out of there, I think in the long run, we're gonna end up saving money going with the contracting service.
So you wouldn't be housing any dogs up there at all?
We would, as I
Or
said,
temporary?
the last, I think, so I believe as it's written now, the contract term is for 1 year, just to kind of feel out if we feel like it's a good service, make sure that the Russells are okay, because they do contract with multiple cities, that it doesn't become a burden for them. So one, we would keep the facilities for that purpose, just in case we didn't contract with them after the first year is up. But also, I think it's a good idea to keep the facility because, say, the Russells, I mean, they're out of Ogilvy, so say they are already going to pick up a dog in Onamia or Isle, and then they're going to come here afterwards. If whoever found the dog couldn't care for it in the meantime, we could put it in our pound. The Russells would then have a key to come and get the dog from our pound and bring to their facility.
And the charge that this contract would have, would that be paid by the owner once they pick it up? Is that in here?
Correct. So
Yeah.
what the owner would pay, so the pricing in here is because it's a contract with the city, it's what
Yeah.
the city would pay.
Yeah.
That does not mean that's what the owner would pay. That pricing,
So how do we work that into the budget?
I mean, we already have a budget for other professional services.
So it's your recommendation to go with that?
It is, yes.
And Tammy's too?
Yeah, the only thing that I think, and maybe Damien could weigh in, that we add in here, I don't know if there is already mentioned, and it's just not to what our limit would be, but if they ever picked up a dog that needed vet services, generally their cities will pick a cap on that. I talked to Tammy about it. Her recommendation was $200. So if that's something that,
So is that something that they wouldn't take the dog unless they were taking it straight to a vet to deal with it? Or,
they would have to make a determination if, what they could do for the animal. If $200 was gonna cover what it needed, or if it's so severely injured that it might need, to be euthanized. They would, depending on what our cap is, I believe they would have to make a decision as to how they proceed with treating that dog. And again, I think that's gonna be a rare occurrence as well, that they pick up a dog that needs, medical attention.
it's that sort of provision is not currently meeting here, so if that's a concern, then
Yeah.
you might want to add in some language that authorizes them to do that, but caps the city's responsibility at X.
And that was kind of their recommendation, is that we add that in there.
So if the council's inclined to pass the draft as is with the amendment that there'll be language added in authorizing them to bring an animal to the vet, but cap the city's costs at $200.
And how do we get that money back? We don't?
I don't believe.
That would only be if the owner didn't claim the dog or they weren't able to adopt it out.
But if the owner claimed the dog,
They would pay those expenses.
that's what I wanna make sure.
And just on top of that, they've had a lot of luck with, if they brought a dog to the vet, putting it out on their social medias and having people donate. Obviously, it's not a guarantee, but a lot of the times that they run into those situations, they end up getting it covered in donations as well.
So what you're doing is gonna amend this contract?
Yeah, I'll add some language somewhere. I'll have to decide where it's gonna be fit the best. Basically indicating that if the animal control officer determines that veterinary services are required, they're authorized to seek out those services, but the financial liability of the city will be capped at $200 per animal.
Okay, can I have a motion to, we did a motion to have Damien amend that as such?
I'll make a motion to approve the contract with an amendment to add a cap for vet services of $200.
Okay,
I'll second.
and we didn't have a motion before the discussion, we just opened it up, right? So we don't have to, any other thoughts on that from the council or from Quinn or from Damien or anybody else? Here none, Corey, how do you vote?
Aye.
Norris?
Aye.
Pete, yes. Dave?
Aye.
I guess I started there last time. Okay, also you have in front of you a recommendation for a trespass notice to be given. I'll entertain a motion to give a trespass notice to this individual.
So moved.
I'll second.
Any discussion, Quinn, or any discussion from the council in regards to Quinn's recommendation?
And just to be clear, because I don't know that I did say including the city parks.
What?
So I just want to make sure, I forgot that I put in the letter that it was to include the city parks, because this individual has been found in our bathrooms where they've been staying overnight as well.
Yeah.
So,
I think there's a good description in what was given to us in the
Yes.
packet as
Yeah.
to the necessity for this.
And I have no problem with it. Hearing no other discussion, Norris, how do you vote?
Aye.
Pete, yes, Dave,
Aye.
Corey,
Aye.
motion carries. Parks, activity, you have the meeting in front of you. Public Works, activity report, county project minutes. We've had that, and Phil, you're up.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the council. I'm just here to give an update on that street project. Tammy thought it'd be a good idea to let you know how it's coming. Right now, we're still in the middle of the design process with the goal of getting bids on June 21st. And I think you've met with the finance people on that bonding process too, so that's moving along, and the two are kind of going side by
You've
side.
already met with them?
I think you've already met with, or Tammy's,
Yeah.
Tammy's met with them, and then there's more meetings coming on that. I just wanted to remind you of what the project's gonna consist of, because since last meeting, Gary and I spent a lot of time looking at things. It's gonna replace all the bituminous on those 4 blocks, and all the water main, there's just water main in Second. It goes from the county's project down a block and a half. Right now, that's a 4-inch main, and that'll get upsized to an 8-inch main and a 6-inch main. So that'll all get replaced. And then all the storm sewer in the intersection of Third and Second will get replaced. That was all in bad shape. Gary had that televised since the last meeting, so we verified the condition of it. But the main lines on the long stretches on Third and Second can stay, so that was a good thing.
Third and Second,
The pipe goes from Central Avenue westward in Third to
down Puckett's Hill.
it doesn't go down Puckett's, then it goes south towards 23.
Okay.
So, but those long
from
stretches,
Central Avenue, the water main will be
there's,
from Central Avenue to,
it's the storm sewer that runs from Central Avenue to the intersection of Second and Third, and then southerly. And all that pipe was in good shape, except for the stuff within the intersection itself. So all the storm sewer in the intersection is gonna get replaced, and the catch basins will get moved, and
just at the intersection.
just at the intersection.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and
Okay.
the water main only runs north-south in Second. There's a good 8-inch main going east-west in Third. So the only water main that'll be replaced is the north-south in Second. And then, we said last month that the curb removal would be limited, but it's getting more each time we look at it. So it's gonna be about 30-40% of it. All the curb on the Teal side, the Teal and the Pocket Park side of Second's gonna be replaced. And that sidewalk will get replaced, and their driveways will get lined up with where their parking stalls are striped.
And are you working with Teals,
Gary is, but
yeah, but
they'll like this.
huh?
They'll be happy with it. It'll clean up the way their entrances.
Yeah, but I don't think they need 3 entrances, there, and we can gain some parking on Main.
That's what we're trying to get a hold of them, but, so,
Okay.
right, if they want to eliminate an entrance, that certainly can be done.
Yeah.
But if the 3 go, then they'll at least get squared up with where the parking is now. And then on the other side of the street, over by the post office and the barber shop, from about the post office north to the county's project is bad, so that's all gonna get replaced too. And then the rest of the project, it'll just be spot repairs for the curb.
Okay.
And,
But it's completely all reconstruction.
yes. And then the last thing I wanted to bring up, and Gary is looking into the possibility of adding lighting just on that first block from and the Teals and post office block. So I think there'd be 4 lights on the Teals side, and 1 by the post office and 1 by the high rise. He's getting quotes on that. There's a number in the budget for that, so if that works and the numbers come in well, and it's up, and you guys want it, we could include lighting to extend lighting down to that next block.
Okay, is it if you're thinking of lighting, because it's been brought up, especially by Dave, on lighting downtown, the big tall lights, are they a thing of the past? And do we want a different type?
I think we're in too deep now, because we just put big ones on the county project.
And painted them, but so, the way those are set up, right, there's a base and wiring, you can always replace the poles and the lights someday.
Right.
Okay.
But, yeah, so
Okay.
he's working with Granite Ledge on that. The new cost estimate, the entire project cost estimate is $925,000. That alley gets to be a lot of work. That thing's a mess.
Yeah.
Thanks for sticking us with that.
It's more than a mess. You should,
Yeah,
I drove down it yesterday and.
Yeah, and it's timing, right? The thing's really falling
And
apart.
are you in contact with the post office? Cause I think they wanna redo their lot.
We haven't done that yet. It's on Gary's
So just
list.
so, and I don't know if the high rise needs anything or the bank parking lot needs anything there.
The high-rise parking, we can talk to them. Their parking lot's not in, they're part of the.
Looks pretty
It's
good.
pretty good, yeah,
They
yeah.
just did theirs.
And we already kind of looked at where the saw line would be. So their stuff will look pretty nice. We met with that property owner on the other side of the alley from the high rise. They get a lot of drainage problem there. So I think we're gonna run a little concrete curb up the alley past his house. He's all for it. And
Okay.
that would keep the water from jumping over into his house and get it out to the street. So the schedule will be to get bids in late June, the 21st. Then you'd probably have to have a special meeting after that to award the contract. And
Okay. And how far north are you going on that alley, being it's closed?
we were planning to go up to where those natural gas valves are. But
Up
it's,
to where?
there's a big, tall, I think it's a regulator thing for the natural gas company right behind the post office. And then just north of that a bit, there's a new patch where the gas company replaced all the valves. We were planning to go to that patch.
So it wouldn't be directly west of the bank's parking lot, it should go at least there, shouldn't it?
Well, there's nothing to drive to there.
Yeah, the
It's dead
banks
end.
come out there.
The
No,
post office?
The post office parking lot, that's the
That's
bank's
about where it
parking
would
lot
be.
between.
That's about what he's talking about.
Yeah.
That's where that patch is, right? when
Up
you
to that
come down.
patch. Yeah, you can meet us out there. We'll mark a nice
Okay.
area and
Okay.
yeah, the idea is do it once and do it right.
Yep,
So
so that is,
I just wanted to point out one thing too, that, this is a little late in the year for doing this.
yeah, I know.
If it comes June 21st and there aren't a lot of contractors chomping at the bit for this, and the bids are high, I don't think we've wasted anything. We could always rebid it and do it next year. It wouldn't kill anything to delay the project a year, but hopefully there'll be at least one or two contractors that can still get it done this year. And
Well, then
We'll
do
get
you
good
wanna
prices.
make that alleyway an alternate?
we could,
Because that has to be done this year, no matter what.
sure. Well, I don't anticipate there being a problem. I just wanted to
Well, I
know that you're not sticking your neck out too far. And
Because we should have been on this quite a bit
Right.
earlier.
yeah, another thing that we're planning to do as an alternate is bid whether or not to pave the final lift of bituminous. One option would be to do it this year, and another option would be to do it next year. It's nicer to wait a year if you can, and Gary's okay with plowing it that way. But if it's really expensive, it's not worth $50,000 to do that.
Yeah, right.
So we'll have those numbers for you to look at.
Okay,
That's it.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Phil.
Anything else on the public works? Vicky, you're on. The liquor store on the, beer cave.
All right, so you should have two quotes, one from St. Cloud Refrigeration and one from Carlson and Stewart Refrigeration. They came in very close to each other. I would probably, I'm not really sure what to say about that. I know Gary is very fond of St. Cloud Refrigeration. He has a very good rapport with them as far as the quote goes. And they're both very close. We have had some problems at the liquor store ever since we built it with, one of our biggest problems is humidity. They pulled out some systems when they did it, and so we run barn fans in the store during the day, and I have to turn the heat on one side and the air on the other to pull the humidity out of the building. And I've been talking to them about it for the last 15 years, and they can't figure out how to fix it. So I'm a little bit apt since Carlson and Stewart actually came in just a little bit below them to try to to switch to a different company for this in hopes that maybe they can help us. We do currently have a contract with St. Cloud Refrigeration for maintenance, and I'm having Tammy look at that now too. I'm thinking about switching to Carlson just because I'm hoping, in talking to them when we did the bid, I talked to him about some other issues, and he showed me some things that could be done, that it could be fixed. So, but the quotes are both here. I did add a sheet that I handed you guys, and that is for our back doors. This was something that's already in the budget to be done.
Wait. This is two different projects, right?
Well, when we do this project, this is already in the budget. I'm just added it because we're gonna need to probably, it needed to be done this year. It's already in the budget to be done. It was already approved last year.
So this is approved.
This is already approved, but I just wanted to make sure we didn't have to run it through you guys again before I give them the okay to do it, because this needs to be done before we can start this project, because this is the only way we'll have to get into the building for security once we cover up our other door.
So if we've approved this,
I didn't know, Tammy said that you guys might need to look at it, so I just wanted to make sure. I didn't want to.
well, if it's approved, then in the budget.
Okay,
Right.
so then just put it away and ignore it.
Okay.
Thank you.
I like those kind.
I just wanted to make sure, because she's like, well, you better talk to council about it, so I just wanted to make sure.
Is it because it's a bid now, or did you have this all before?
Yeah, this is the first time I got the quote for it, the actual quote to show you guys, but it was already approved in the budget last year, because we needed to replace the doors anyway, a year ago.
Wait, then I think we have.
Yeah, I'm here.
But we did not have a quote for it last year.
Yeah.
I think what happened is the discussion took place, the money was allocated for it.
Yes.
Now they got a bid, you guys got to approve.
We gotta approve the
Official
bid,
bid, yep,
so we
Yep.
gotta bring it back.
yep.
So you have to do this first, before you can do that project.
Yes, before we can put the actual cooler in, we have to have the door secured, because we'll be blocking the door that we're using now as our security to get in and out of the building.
I will entertain a motion to go with this bid for the door. Now, this is, estimated door.
Yep, the Rosinski bid.
Yep.
I'll make a motion to approve that.
And that total is $6,956.22.
Yep.
I'll second that.
Yes.
Any further discussion? And this is yours and Tammy's recommendation.
Yes.
Did it come in within what we budgeted for?
I do believe so. I think it's under the budget. I think we had 8,000. I think 8,000 was our budget, so we're within that budget.
Okay. Any further discussion on that? Norris, how do you vote?
Aye.
Pete, yes. Dave?
Aye.
Corey?
Aye.
Motion carries. Now,
Okay.
what is your recommendation on the beer cave?
Okay, so with the beer cave, these are the quotes for the cave themselves. But if you'll notice on the second page of both of them, it says this does not include the electrical wiring. It doesn't include the plumbing. It doesn't include any structural work. There's a bunch of things that are not included. We have to put a full pad and footings underneath the cooler, so that has to be bidded. We have to get quotes for that first. Also, and we have to get quotes for, I have somebody out for electrical already that I'm getting a quote for. I just wasn't sure, if we're voting on whether you're saying yes, that we can do this, or just yes, which company, because I know I just kind of threw it at you at the last council meeting, so.
Well, till I see the whole project, I think we gotta table it.
Okay.
Is that what you're gonna say?
Yeah, I'd have a hard time approving this, not knowing what concrete, electrical, blah, blah,
plumbing,
blah, is
yes.
all coming in
Yep.
at. It's gotta be a total package bid. But we would be, I would think if you're looking for direction,
Yes.
at least My opinion would be, I would be with, your argument was good for these guys.
Okay, okay.
Yes.
So
but-
yeah, so I
but
just,
at
so I
this
can,
time, I
yeah.
think we need the whole bid in front of us.
Right, using that company and then building off that to get the other bids.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Oh, I see what, to get the subcontractors to do the concrete. and
Yeah, because she
electric.
just wants to know which one of these two. So if we go with this company, then that gives her that much. And then she can work towards getting concrete and all that line.
But we're not approving this to them.
Nope, nope. Just so she has some
Just
direction.
so I know.
Yeah. We're not approving you to have the cave yet, but we're in favor of the cave, but we want to see all
Okay,
the details of it.
yep.
So that's just a directional, so I'll entertain a motion to bring back total bids at our June meeting.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Any further discussion?
How long does it take for them to, like the pads there and you got everything lined up, how long does it take them to put it up? Did they say?
To build the cooler themselves, they can probably put it up in a day. They just bring it in panels and they hook the panels together and then they have to, the electrician will have to come in and do the electrical after that. So once the concrete's there, them putting the cooler up is probably gonna be faster than the concrete, so.
Okay, then the other thing along with this is if you're having trouble with that other company and their service, also look at that before our next meeting.
I will, yeah, I'll have Tammy find my maintenance
Yeah.
contract through them.
And look at that maintenance contract.
And I got a new maintenance contract from what it would be with the new people as well. I already
And
have
if
that.
these people can
quote.
take care of the problems you're having with the other maintenance,
Yes, that would be great.
if it makes sense.
I think I'm gonna go buy a dehumidifier for the liquor store, though. I
Well,
think
no,
that will
I'm
help.
just saying,
But I mean, I think I should. I think, I'm actually talk to Dolores about that tomorrow.
Okay,
Not tomorrow.
Okay, Monday,
Tuesday.
Tuesday, next week. All right, thank you, guys.
we gotta vote on it. We have a motion, right? A direction to table it. And she knows the direction, so the motion was to table this and have Vicky bring all the quotes back to us. Corey, how do you vote?
Aye.
Norris?
Aye.
Pete, yes. Dave?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, Vicky.
Yep, thank you.
Planning Commission, May 17th. Preliminary and final plat.
I don't know, I emailed the minutes from the planning commission meeting to Tammy to get to you, but I know she left early on Wednesday, so I don't know if you got the minutes or not, so. But that's all that was the minutes
we
from
did.
our meeting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we took care of everything that you had.
Yes, but you would have seen the minutes, I guess. I don't know if you got them or not.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. I was at the meeting, so it was a high-priced meeting. No, never mind. Fire Jesse.
I don't have much to do. I just have that we received our new SCBA's that we got the grant for. And we'll be putting them in service within the next 2 weeks. And I think we are gonna donate our old ones to the Forest and Fire Department because they're really not worth anything and they come to most of our calls if we need them, so. And they don't have a high pressure system, so it's gonna be good for them and good for us both. And the fire department relief is actually having a golf tournament on July 10th. We are out campaigning for that and looking for donations and things. So if anybody has anything they'd like to donate or help, let us know, okay?
Okay.
Come see me at the liquor store.
Thank you. You can probably get Mary, our new activities director, involved in that too. That'll keep her out of mischief. Airport construction starts May 17th, and we approved that. Committees, economic development, adopt of the business subsidy policy.
Yeah, we had this last month.
Yeah.
So it's not new. I don't know if anybody saw anything in there that,
I didn't see
Jumped out
anything
at her.
that's striking.
no, it's just a general guideline. It doesn't
Yeah.
give exactly what those subsidies would be, but at least gives structure so we're consistent on what we do.
Yeah. So are you making a motion to adopt this?
Sure. I will make that motion.
Because the city, is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion on anything that's in there?
We meet Monday morning on it
Where
again.
does the funding come for this?
There is no funding attached to it. If you look at number,
Okay.
I gotta sit back on my glasses. Number B there under authority, may include grants by state or local government, loans, forgivable loans, TIF, all that. It doesn't say what it is. It just says if we were to do something, these are the guidelines we'd follow.
Okay, sure.
And these are just guidelines, and council still can break away from these guidelines. It's just a general guideline.
Yep,
And
so we're just not randomly making up subsidies
Yeah,
as we
sure.
go. Yep.
And just because we give subsidy to one person, doesn't mean we have to give it to another person or company. So it's still the control of the city and the council, but it's a guideline for the city to look at that was developed by the commission. Corey, you have any comments on?
No.
And North, no more? And you got a motion and a second it? Norris, how do you vote?
Aye.
Pete? Yes? Dave?
Aye.
Corey?
Aye.
Almost forgot to vote. No? Okay, that's economic. Personnel Committee, May 6th and May 11th meetings. We mainly went over talking about getting the personnel book in line and looked at different things. Nothing a whole lot there, was there, Dave, other than that?
No, just trying to line some things up with League of Minnesota City recommendations.
Okay, budget, did you guys have a meeting, Norris?
No.
Okay, it says a budget discussion, a budget workshop meeting date. I don't know why the council can't do that right at our regular meeting. Cause it's just ideas from the council before Tammy starts working on it, right? So why do we have to have a special meeting for it, unless the budget committee thinks we do? I can't ask Lindsay, but,
Yeah, I don't know.
cause it's just ideas from the council for the budget committee and for Tammy to start working with, you know, like, we brought up the streets and they got delayed too long. If we'd got on them right away, then we wouldn't have the trouble that Phil said we had as far as being late. So it's just, so at our next meeting, we should bring back any ideas the individual council people have that they want added to the budget for next year. And we can have that at our 16th
Or
meeting.
taken out.
Huh?
Yes.
Or taken out.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So we're not gonna set. The Veterans Memorial, I probably already gave a comment under donation, joint powers, the building, Norris, you're on that committee, anything going on there?
Nothing lately, no.
Okay. Tourism Board, we met on May 13th, and we did hire a director, and that will be Mary Mickelson, and that will be outside of her city hours. So she will be doing that, and we added 2 new members to the committee from the school. I gotta think of the name.
I think it was
Jen Taylor and,
I don't know the other one, I just knew she was.
I know, I can't think of the name. Mary, you remember? Who was the other member we had? Jen Taylor from the school and somebody else from the school.
Test shipment,
Who?
test.
From the DAC?
Test shipment.
Test shipment.
Test Shipman?
Yes.
DAC?
Yeah, no,
Tess is not from the school. She's
No.
from
From
the
the
DAC.
DAC.
okay, I'll have to look on that later, so, but that's where, under unfinished business, the healthcare, Dave and I have a meeting tomorrow on the presentation from Fairview on what they are gonna do. There was a very good article in this last week's paper, so. Under new business, Zach, you're up. They should have warned you, you were late on the agenda. Holy moly!
Some of the information here, it's pretty thin, so don't dig too deep into it.
Huh?
So there's not much there, but there's some stuff there.
Golf tips?
Huh?
All right.
What this concerns for the people that aren't there is that flood insurance down in Rec Park with the new Gretzky building and the band shell. There was some stuff in your packet, so take it away.
Yeah, so doing the review of the league's policy for the city of Milaca, we noticed obviously we have the Gretzky building. And the way that the zone read, there is no flood insurance on that center. So Tammy and I began discussing, trying to figure out how we can get flood insurance on it. I mean, it's a $750,000 building. In the event that that river rises, there's damage, there's no coverage on the league's policy currently. So to do that, you have to get the building fully insured as high as FEMA allows for. So for commercial buildings, that's $500,000. Once that takes place, then we can go back to the league. The league would insure any excess over that $500,000, and so the building would be covered. To do that through FEMA, they're requiring an elevation certificate. That costs money. I got in the emails, there was a couple, I think in the notes, we'd be looking at anywhere from $750 to $950 just to get that elevation certificate. Once we have that elevation certificate, we can go to, I mean, everybody virtually writes as sort of a vendor for FEMA. We get a price on that, and then we would then bring that dollar amount to the council to decide if flood insurance would be something that they would want to continue to pursue.
Now, does it involve other buildings down there, like the band shell?
No. So down there, the map is, it's not colored, but there's 100-year flood zones, there's 500-year flood zones that are down there. Obviously, 100-year flood zones, sort of where we think the Gorecki building is in, is gonna be more expensive to get flood insurance on rather than, obviously a 500-year flood zone. This would just be for the Gorecki building. If we wanted to get coverage, flood coverage for any other and all buildings down there, they would then, potentially they could use that elevation certificate if it's close enough, but I think that they would potentially need different elevation certificates for any and all structures that you would be looking to get flood insurance for.
Why couldn't you get elevations throughout the whole park?
It's
Now we have that basketball, we have that skateboard park down there. If that floods,
Well, what extent of damage do you think would happen, I guess, if the skate park floods?
Those two wouldn't be so bad.
Yeah, I mean, I think that.
you don't think so?
Well,
I mean.
the line itself too, I mean, it sort of zigs and zags its way through. So like, I mean, if it was just a plat that was a 100-year flood zone down there, potentially you'd be able to use the one elevation certificate because it's the same flood zone. But I mean, looking at the map, the flood zone sort of changes between, I mean, even different sides of the street. One side's 100, the next side's 500. Why that is, that they're the experts that determine the map. This is just sort of what we're able to work with.
The years I've been here, I've never seen the Gretzky building have water by it. Have you, Dolores?
No, not up that far, but, you know.
I've seen it up to the parking lot on the north side, cause that's lower.
The furthest I've seen it is right up to the base of the stage of the band shell.
Yeah.
That's the furthest.
And that year it happened, it wasn't up the Gretzky building.
But was
Or
that
that-
before we took the dam out, right?
Huh?
That was before we took the dam out.
No, that
No,
was
that was
after.
after,
Oh, it was
after the dam.
Was that like 5 years ago?
Yeah.
Like 2016, I think it was,
Yeah.
2017, yeah.
Yeah.
It was all the way up to probably, I would say that newest parking lot along the entrance, not the one that's been in front of the Grecky building, but the newer one.
Yeah, it was right up to
It was
that.
beyond the.
Beyond the band shell, but it was as high as the,
Yeah, it was all the way up to the parking lot where, but on the north side of, from the Gretzky building. But see, the Gretzky building sits higher than that. Is that right, Quinn?
What's that?
I'm talking about the same parking lot as you are.
Yeah, the wider one,
Huh?
the one that's, I guess it'd be almost straight across from the playground. It's the further west parking lot. I believe they put it in last year.
Oh, yeah, that.
Or are you saying the main parking
I'm saying the main parking lot.
lot? I don't think it made it quite that.
Yeah, it was there that year, the year the band shell was underneath, it was up to the main parking lot in that area.
So you can't do anything basically until they do that elevation thing?
Yes,
Okay.
exactly. And I think that was the basis of coming here and just telling you that, and also notifying you that there is no coverage for flood down there in the event of something happening.
Okay.
So as far as the skate park, that was underwater when we had that flood
Yeah.
5-6 years ago.
Yeah.
And that, all that equipment is made out of steel. So there would be the potential for there to be rust damage, if it's submerged for too long. However, the stuff that was down there and was part of the flood seemed to weather pretty well. The concern I'd have with the basketball courts is that plastic, flooring,
Floating
I guess,
surface,
that I don't believe it's attached to anything. So I don't know if there were a flood to come up again as far as the basketball courts, if that would just wash away or what would happen with that flooring or surfacing that they put down there.
So the only thing we need is to give directions to Tammy to have that measured and do the costs that, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's
We don't need a motion, but to have Tammy contact someone. Wouldn't Phil have that, Marshall?
No, they're gonna want specifics.
Huh?
The FEMA is gonna want specifics, they're gonna wanna say, this corner of the building is at this elevation, or whatever item you're thinking of insuring, they're gonna want specifics, so.
Okay. I thought when we built that,
No, you went, no, we didn't get no survey done or anything like that.
Okay.
And then from that, then you could come up with price.
correct,
Okay.
yeah. And then I can see if that elevation certificate would even be able to be used on, let's say the band shell, or see, I mean, I can look into like floor coverings, because that may be something that's not even potentially able to be covered.
Right.
I mean, in that list of FEMA, it's 4 pages, and they try to touch on as many things as possible, but, I don't think basketball court coverings is probably one of the things they're concerned about, but, and honestly, I mean, the price, it's just to have an option to say, let's say it's $15,000, for a year. Well, maybe we're better off taking that money, self-insuring it, and putting that money aside in the event that it does happen. But
Yeah, okay. So what direction are we going? Just to tell Tammy to have it surveyed, or do we need a motion for that?
I think they just want, since you're spending money, I would do a motion, and it's just a motion to obtain that certificate. And then from there, he'll just get the quotes, get the information he can, and then bring it back.
So
Yes.
who wants to make the motion?
I'll make the motion.
The what?
To move forward with the survey,
With the
To get
elevation.
the elevation, whatever it's
Survey
called.
elevations.
Whatever the word
Elevation.
is, the elevation, yeah.
Oh, just the Gretzky building or everything at the park?
I think we just do the one and see potentially if it can be used,
Okay.
you know, being across the street.
So getting the elevation on the jet ski park.
The other thing to keep in mind too with this is that there is, you know, if and when we get the elevation certificate, we get premiums, you say, yes, let's do it. There's a 30-day waiting period before that policy would be effective. So it's not something that happens instantaneously. It will take time, hopefully, you know, before, if we do get, you know, floodwaters. So just wanted to make the council aware of that.
Any,
I'll second that.
okay. Any further discussion? Pete votes yes. Dave?
Aye.
Corey?
Aye.
Norris?
Aye.
Okay, thanks, Zach.
Yep. Thank you, Zach.
I'll entertain a motion for a special event permit for the chamber parade and street closure.
So move.
Second.
Any discussion? Where did I start last time? Pete, I did. Dave? How do you
That's
vote?
fine. Aye.
Corey?
Aye.
Norris?
Aye.
Pete? Yes. Okay, that's carried. I'll entertain a motion for COVID-19 leave pay continuing.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Okay. We thinking of continuing, means we done away with the thing, or do
Well,
we even need it?
I think when we talked a while back about this, our decision was that we would
Once,
let it go with the emergency plan and follow.
and so
That would mean it would be
we were
done.
discussing a no vote on this.
Correct.
And that's because we had decided that once the emergency plan was gone, this was gone too.
Right.
Yep.
Everybody agree with that? Okay, Corey, any more discussion? Corey, how do you vote?
No.
Norris?
No.
Pete, no? Dave?
No.
Okay. It's done. There's no miscellaneous thing. I do want to bring up one topic of our meeting in June is June 16th. And because that is also a big meeting that's gonna be going on down in Princeton on the trails coming from Zimmerman to Milaca. And that's something we should have somebody look at, and I'd like to have Tammy maybe ask Kurt Barley and Jordan DeBoer if they would represent the city at that. Oh,
We met yesterday, they already are going to be at that meeting.
well, okay.
Great.
But I think as far as the council, we should, even though they're gonna be at it,
As
I think we-
representatives of the city.
have them as representatives of the city. And that's what I'm trying to do, so I'd like to entertain a motion to make them, represent, and maybe throughout this whole process of representing the city. Because that's their interest and and they're doing a good job, so.
I'll make the motion to have two representatives from the Trail Initiative be, city representatives, at the trail meetings.
Okay, do we name them, did Jordan and Kurt both say they were gonna be there, Mary?
Not Jordan, Kurt and Brian Pearson.
Brian, yep.
So then maybe we should go with Kurt and Brian
Can it
Pearson.
just be trail committees? Then they got flexibility. Then it's Jordan, Brian,
If one of them,
Kurt.
whoever can make the meeting.
There's, from what I know of that, committee, there's three that would probably want to go to those meetings.
Yeah.
And I would feel more comfortable, leaving it open to two of those three that would be able to attend any meetings that would happen in relation to, the trails extending
Or
up this
just-
way.
Just make all three of them representatives.
well, we don't know. Maybe it's 3, maybe it's 4.
Well, I don't know. I'm just saying, and I'm not just saying at this meeting. And that future meeting.
Right. Yep, I believe that's understood.
Okay,
Yep,
okay.
Did you get a second?
I don't believe
No,
so.
I'll
Cory
second it.
motion.
Okay. Dolores, I'm gonna have you read back that motion. Someone, I'm gonna ask you to read back.
Really? You have, motion to have at least two people from the Initiative Trails Committee to attend the Princeton and Zimmerman meeting on behalf of city representatives, Kurt Bowerly and Brian Pearson.
And it's all future meetings too, not just that meeting,
What are we going without the names?
huh?
The motion I made was for two representatives to be at all the meetings for the
Okay.
Zimmerman
Oh,
Trails.
no names?
I'd withhold, my motion was to just withhold the names.
Okay.
Yeah. Representatives from the mountain bike initiative group or.
At least
Trails
two
Initiative Group.
representatives then? At least two?
Corey,
I would say that two representatives. I don't know that they'd have to be the same two every meeting though.
Okay, that's why we don't do the names.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep.
any further discussion on that?
I just want to give that committee a little more
Yeah.
flexibility.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then, that's something that one of us council members don't have to go to, and they can come back with reports.
A lot more involved than any of the council members
Yes.
are with that as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Corey, how do you vote?
Aye.
Norris?
Aye.
Pete, yes. Dave?
Aye.
Okay. Norris, any council comments?
Nope, just anxious for, Third Street or Second Street to get opened up.
Dave?
Just a reminder, our Rum River Community Foundation has their fishing contest going on right now through Sunday. So any of you guys catch fish, anybody, take a picture of it by measuring, any kind of measuring device, enter it on our website or the emails on our Rum River Community Foundation page. There's a lot of really good prizes. Milaca Gym Disposal gave a really good father-son fishing package for first place in the adult division. The youth division is a lifetime fishing license that Paul Jackson Real Estate gave out. So there's great prizes all the way through. If you don't want to fish, you don't do that. Our silent auction runs through Sunday night at 8 o'clock. And we have 17 different items on there that you can bid on. Just go to our Rum River Community Foundation page, go to the item you want and just mark it in the comments. Just make your bid in the comments. Bidding is going on right now. There's plenty of bids on stuff. Get that stuff going. It's the only way we can fund local organizations is through money raised through that. So it's important you get the word out and spread it, share it, like it, whatever you do on Facebook to get it out there. That's
Do you
it.
guys do any flyers at all for it this year?
They're gonna bring one out to the liquor store tomorrow and to Prince Bay.
Corey?
Yeah, just a couple of things. Just want to say that the new lighting down in Rec Park by the basketball courts and the skate park is a big hit. I've had some teenagers come up to me and express how happy they are to be able to have that lighting down in the park. It's also great to see the Vets Memorial work getting started in Trimble Park. I was excited to see that. And I live near the fire hall, and you guys are busy, and you've been busy for a while. And I just wanted to extend my thanks for all the work that you guys do, because it almost seems daily that you guys have something going on, or at least several times a week. So thanks to the volunteer firefighters of Milaca, because they do a great job.
Thanks, Kurt.
Okay, I have one, on Sunday I attended Aiden Stocker, Eagle Scout. He's the one that did the fire pit by the Gretzky building. And he has finished it up, and his ceremony was Sunday, and I attended that, and it was a very nice ceremony. The other thing I think we have to think about too now that we've done away with the, COVID thing, do we as a council want to direct, Deb Reg to go back to open hours? Because today, and the reason I brought it up, today I had to get registered. I made 2 phone calls, and they always tell me, oh, go to the computer and sign up. There's a lot of people my age, I was able to sign up, but there's a lot of people in this community, you know, that don't sign up, and the earliest appointment I could get is noon tomorrow, you know?
I have heard people traveling to our own citizens traveling to other towns to get into the.
Yeah.
But on the flip side of that, we have people from Bloomington coming up here
Right.
too.
Yeah, I
So,
know.
you
Right, because you can get in, you can get things done. If we do something, I would like to keep that Dropbox. That's the greatest thing ever.
Yes.
Because I don't even go in there. I
Yeah.
don't do anything in there anymore. My
Yeah.
tabs, it just takes 2 minutes and they're there the next day.
I know,
It's great.
I know the girls have mentioned, though, that they do like the appointments so that they don't have the 8 to 10 people standing in the
Yeah.
office.
Yeah, but it's
And
not customer friendly.
No, but some of that stuff is kind of confidential stuff too, so they don't feel that they should have all those people standing in there. I'm just gonna.
Yeah,
pass
because it is, because you get like 5 people, you're standing just like this, and yeah, I agree.
So,
But I think we should not have it by appointment only, or really look serious about doing something.
They sold a vehicle recently and there was a glitch with that and it was, I don't know how it finally turned out, but he needed to go back in. You know, he went in once to do the transfer and then there was a problem and he couldn't get back in for 2 weeks to fix the problem.
Yeah.
And, you know,
So maybe you need some tweaking.
yeah.
Yeah, I think we should open it up and just,
I think they had mentioned, and I can double check with Amy on that, but I think she did mention like Fridays that they would have walk-ins.
I think this should be
Yeah.
walk in anytime.
Yeah, it'd be nice if it was like, yeah, a certain time. It'd be nice to have times it's not walk-in though. That's nice to have an appointment and
Huh?
it's really
Or-
nice.
Or have appointments in the afternoon and walk-ins, you know?
Yeah, maybe something like that, a combination of appointments and walk-ins, yeah.
Huh?
Well, how do you stop people though? You got 12 people lined up at noon, you're gonna say, nope, now we gotta stop for appointments? It's like, you're not gonna be able to do a half and half.
Do appointments in the morning and then the afternoon.
Yeah, but like he's saying, what do you do with,
But if you have appointments in the morning, you're done with those appointments.
Oh, yeah, that's
and
true.
Walk-ins for the afternoons.
that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah,
Huh?
yeah.
I don't know.
Something to look at.
I'd like to see it open all the time.
I don't know, I've been in there and it seems like the appointments most of the time are way longer than they need to be. Like, they'll make a 15-minute appointment and then all of a sudden nobody's here for 10 minutes after, you know, cause like I'll sneak through City Hall and go in there, like if I have something to do and there's nobody in there, cause they're like the appointment should be only 10 minutes long instead of 15 or something like that, but I mean.
Well,
some-
mine was,
Some of them are.
mine was listed for 5 minutes
Okay.
on the appointment I got. Was listed for 5 minutes. But it's just something that I think should be opened up. And I think that's a council decision of, you know, how best to serve.
Well, it'd be good to get their information.
Yes.
I'd like to get feedback from them.
Yeah.
They're the ones that have to do it.
They already are, yeah, they're taking walk-ins already.
Are they?
People ring the doorbell and if they don't have anything going on, they'll take.
They'll open the
Yeah,
door.
I've had people do that.
Oh, they will?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we tell people that too when they call. We say, well, you can take a chance, go to the Dep Reg, and if they don't have any appointments, they will let you in. So it's kind of a hit and miss, but they do it.
But see, if you call them, it'd be nice if they would answer the phone, because when I called, they said, leave a message and we'll get a hold of you in a couple of days.
And we do get a lot of phone calls, I'm not gonna deny that. We get a lot of phone calls, well, they don't answer their phone, and
Yeah.
I know they're busy, but yeah, we do get a lot of complaints on that,
Yeah,
so.
And in the Facebook
Something
world, it's
could
not, there are other places that are still shut down, it's not gonna take long for people to know that Milaca's wide open and you get everyone and their brother that's coming in town.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
Can't get in
And
there.
I think that's what is happening already when we got Bloomington people coming up here.
well, it's just something that we should be looking at. Any other comment? Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second. Oh, thank you.
Norris, how you vote?
Aye.
Pete, yes. Dave?
Aye.
Corey?
I
So I've also.
Thank you, Dolores, for stepping in tonight.